With the first Descendant recently taking off in the video gaming industry and a lot more people getting into it, here are some tips and tricks that will help you to make the most of your time and save you from struggles in the future with your gameplay. So let's go ahead and get into the top 10 tips for a new first Descendant player. Number 10, I would recommend take it slow. At the beginning of the game, like many MMO shooters, it's gonna throw a lot of stuff at you. From mods to different weapon types to elements to descendants, everything is gonna get thrown at you at once. There's a ton of information you're going to have to take in. But as someone who has spent a good amount of time in this game, I can say do not worry about all the tech you have to learn at the start. Just enjoy the game. Equip the strongest weapon and then just do the recommended mods until you know what you're doing inside the game. Take time to learn the story, the mechanics of the game. Don't spend a ton of time looking into the best upgrades because some mods are only going to work with certain guns and certain gun types. You may not be able to even use them. So wait until you get to the point where the gun upgrades are not that drastic. You're going to have at the beginning, they're going to start going up by tens of thousands. And so if you spend a lot of time trying to make your gun the best, it's just going to kind of waste your time there. So wait until it's not drastic leveling to get into the mods and the upgrades. Those will be things you get into later on. But if you are wanting to upgrade some mods, I know you're going to get a lot of different things to upgrade them. Here are 3 that you definitely need to upgrade. But let's go ahead and get into number 9. Mods to upgrade. If this game is throwing too much at you to understand, here are some tips for the first 3 Descendant mods you should upgrade. These are going to be mods you equip to your character. So you're going to want to upgrade the HP mod and the max shield mod. These are going to be some of the most important mods throughout the entire game because it's going to upgrade your max HP and your max shield, which will help you stay alive longer and keep you from getting knocked down all the time. And then a very important mod for any gun you get in the game is to increase the gun's damage. Now there's a mod that I've fully upgraded here that has that equipped and it upgrades it by like 30-something% here to where you'll be able to do more damage every single shot to the characters that you're hitting. These 3 mods I feel like are necessities to upgrade if you're going to get into this game and start making a big difference in the first Descendant. This will keep you alive, keep you from having to be carried, keep you from making dumb mistakes. These 3 mods are the ones you want to focus on. And number 8, this should be self-explanatory for anyone who's played an MMO, a first-person shooter, anything like that, where you can get new equipment. Never throw out the gold item. In general, even if you're an expert at this game, you do not want to get rid of these. They can all be upgraded, they all have special abilities, they all do different cool things, and you can always upgrade them to a different level. Do not break them down. Even if they're low level, you can go into the weapons mechanic and upgrade them to the level that your highest gun is at. So do not throw them away. You can always make use of them later. They may buff them later on. Either keep them in your inventory, or I would recommend until you're ready to use them, put them in their storage so you don't decide to throw them away someday. These are very hard to get. They're very annoying to have to re-get. So put them in the storage. Do not throw them away. And at number 7, we have make use of dodge roll. I cannot tell you how many countless times I see people never rolling when they're in a battle. They just run around, taking damage, get downed, but they could have rolled to help avoid majority of the punishment they would have received. Now, I can't tell you when you need to roll, when you need to get out of the way, but make sure to roll out of boss attacks. When you're low health, roll like crazy. Roll to get behind cover because it makes the AI a little bit confused. They have a harder time hitting you, and then you can get behind cover, recover your health, and recover your shield. Because your shield, if you get behind a wall and you don't get hit for a while, it automatically recovers, which is great. Make use of the dodge roll. It's so simple, but I never see people I play with make use of it. So make use of that dodge roll. It makes you go faster in the game. It makes you take less damage. All these different things. Make use of it. And then at number 6, try out different Descendants. Now, some people are going to tell you should use these top 5 Descendants. While some of them are better at some specific things in the game, every one of them has a purpose and a different skill. So what I would do, and what I have done to pick my Descendants I enjoy, to be honest, is just to look how cool they are and use them. I would recommend getting as many Descendants as you can and trying them out, and then getting all your Descendants, to be honest, to level 40. Some bosses are going to be stronger or weaker to different elements, and the Descendants have different elemental damages. Some have poison, some have electric, some have fire. They're all going to have different elemental attacks. So use what you enjoy and don't feel pressured to go and use Bunny because everyone else is. She's just a frail cannon, so she may not be for you. I like to take hits, I like to take damage, and if I play Bunny, I'll get downed instantly. But look at some different Descendants to see what fits you best and just have fun with the game. Now, like I said, you will need to probably pick certain Descendants for certain bosses because you take less damage and you deal more damage with your abilities. But outside of that, you should be able to use whatever Descendant you want to use. Now at number 5, external components are important. External components are the things on the right when you open your inventory that have like a CPU and a few other tech looking gadgets. These do not give huge buffs in general by themselves. When you get components of the same type, like the defense type or the marksman's type, they're going to give you percentage based buffs. So you get percentage based defense buff, percentage based attack buffs. All these different buffs are going to be paired together with those components. Now this is a little bit later on in the game. At the beginning, just equip whatever you want, put whatever you want on. It's not going to make a huge difference, but later on you're going to need to pair them together based on what stat they boost to get that buff. And once again, never throw away the gold ones. Do not throw them away. Store them. Keep them. You can use them later. Number 4, and this is a pretty big one, do bosses and group challenges multiple times. So bosses are pretty self-explanatory. It teaches you how to fight a boss right at the beginning. There's going to be like 10 different bosses. Most of them are going to be pretty easy until you get to the later game. They become a little bit more difficult. But fight all of those bosses multiple times. This will help you to get new items, new blueprints, new Descendants, parts for new Descendants, all these different things you can get from those battles. They're very important and they can only be done a certain number of times a day. So you make sure to do those every single day. And then you're going to want to go ahead and do group challenges. Now there are different type of group challenges. There's ones where you have to do waves of zombies. There's ones where you have to do like capture the area. And these give you a ton of Descendant experience. So if you're trying to upgrade a new Descendant, make sure to go in and do these challenges together with other people. You'll get like 10 levels from your first time doing a challenge with your level 1 Descendant. These will help you to grow faster. So if you're wanting to get a bunch of Descendants to level 40, I would do these group challenges. They really help you to level up. Sometimes give you good rewards. It just depends on how long you can last, and just enjoy them. A lot of them are pretty fun, especially the one where you have like waves like Black Ops Zombies. That's pretty fun. I feel like some of the other ones are more boring, but just enjoy it and get some XP while you're at it. Now this is something that also is going to be important later on, and this is read the mods. This seems like a little thing, but mods make the game so much easier and they increase your power by a drastic amount. I know as a person who has played a lot of games like this, if you do not read, you're going to be lacking in the end game. I know as people who play video games, we don't like to read. We like to just click through the cutscenes, do all these different things to get through it as fast as possible. Or maybe that's just me. Some people enjoy it, but I just like to get to the action. And these mods are actually game-changing mechanics, and they take you from dying instantly to carrying your team. Read every mod and dismantle the ones that are useless. Some examples are recoil mods, the gun change speed mod. Those type of mods, I mean, they're kind of helpful if you really enjoy that, but overall they're not super important to the gun. So I would try and get rid of those if possible, if you're not into that kind of thing. And the mods I would try and keep are any element mods, like if you do fire damage from your weapon, electric damage, toxic damage, all these different elements, keep them because you're going to be able to use them on different bosses and they'll help you do more damage to the bosses. And keep the weapon weak point mods because these will help you whenever you're shooting a weak point on a boss. Do like 9, 10, 11% more damage, and as you upgrade them, they can get up to like 30% more damage. So you're doing your 30% normal gun damage extra from your mods, and then your weak point damage on top of that. It just is crazy. And then obviously the mods I mentioned in number 9, those are the most important. Those are the ones I would focus on. Keep those as your main ones, and make sure to keep the other mods because they can be used in different situations to help you have an easier time with bosses and different challenges. Now we come to number 2. Do the story missions. Now this is more important for new players, but to start I would focus on the story missions, which are the ones that you see in purple when you start the game. These will give you good equipment, they'll give you experience, they'll also help you to understand the background of the game, the guide, one of the main characters, one of the main people in the game, why you're doing what you're doing. You can obviously do the blue side quest if you want, when you need experience or want to just try them out, because some of them are kind of fun, kind of interesting at times. but I would not recommend doing more than 1 or 2 on each map. Just stick to the story. The side quests are going to be used to help you level up later on when you have to get to certain levels to fight bosses, but that doesn't really start until you get to like level 50 or 60. Then you need to do side quests sometimes to get to that level requirement. But so far I've done only story quests mainly, and I've got to level 66 and not really required to do that many side quests, so I would recommend sticking to the story. Now, as someone who has played a ton of this game, like I said before, this is something that kills me. Number 1, do not spawn stall. A trend that's going on in the community right now is called spawn stalling. It's when some people just stand at the spawn of a public challenge. This is those missions that really require 4 people to do, and you go through the boring part at the beginning where you just fight normal enemies, and then when you get to the end, it teleports everyone to the boss and you all can fight it together. But a new trend has come up where people are just standing at spawn, letting 2 or 3 people go through the whole thing, and then they just get teleported straight to the boss. Now, this is one of the sickest and lamest things I've ever seen, and to be honest, I'm sure they're going to start punishing this in the future. So if you want to be liked in this community, I would recommend never doing the spawn stall. Go in with your team, be a team player, do these fun raids together. It's fun to see how fast you can do them, and don't just live off of other people who are doing the hard work, who are going through these levels and are spending the time to grind these out. Go in there, join the raid, join the fight, get in there. Don't just stand at spawn because it's so annoying and you're trash if you do it. But these are my 10 tips for every player in First Descendant. Let me know if I missed something in the comments down below, but if this helps you, make sure to like and subscribe down below, and I'll provide more helpful content later in the future. Thank you guys, and have a great day.